Welcome to Chipping Campden. This charming market town in Gloucestershire, though more like a large village by size, has a lot to offer. It's famous for its long, terraced high street lined with beautiful houses dating back to the 14th to 17th centuries. At the heart of the town stands this stone market hall, steeped in history. It was built in 1627 by Sir Baptist Hicks, who we'll talk about later, and as you can see, it's still serving its original purpose, though it came close to being lost forever. In 1940, a wealthy American wanted to buy it, dismantle it, and ship it to the United States. The locals were outraged. Determined not to lose a piece of their heritage, they raised funds, bought the building back, and donated it to the National Trust. We were lucky because on the day of our visit there was a very interesting antiques and art market taking place. Today, Chipping Campden is a popular tourist destination, and every day the town is visited by thousands of tourists. Roads in the Cotswolds are famously narrow, so if you want to avoid traffic jams and parking troubles, make sure to arrive early. Fortunately, there's free parking along the road, and the nearby car park won't break the bank either. Like most towns in the Cotswolds, Chipping Campden owes its prosperity to the medieval wool trade. English wool was once the finest and most sought after in Europe, and the very best came from the Cotswolds. By the way, did you know that in the 17th century, there were 4 times more sheep than people in England? When cheap cotton from the colonies flooded the market, the wool trade declined, and the region fell into poverty. Ironically, that helped preserve it. Few new buildings were built, and today, its old-world charm attracts thousands of visitors every year. I think I can safely say that apart from the Cotswolds, there are really few places in England where you can find such complete streets made up of medieval and Renaissance houses. The houses along the main street host many restaurants, hotels, and independent shops selling local produce. Just a short distance from the market you will find this small church which dates back to 1897, but it fits in perfectly here and in general. I can say that a walk through the town centre is really very pleasant. The Red Lion Pub. I think you come across a pub of this name often, and that there is no more common pub name in England. I'll try to go through this passage and see what I can find behind it. Hidden corners like these can sometimes be a pleasant surprise. Oh my gosh, there's a charming pub hidden here with a nice outdoor seating area. And as a nice bonus, it seems they even sell my favorite brand of beer. Unfortunately, I'll still be driving, so I won't order a beer here and will leave that for another time. What a pity. We will slowly set off to visit the local church and a few other points of interest. Maybe we will discover something interesting along the way. Well, look, this house. Finally, a house that has real balls. But that facade looks really impressive. This is what I call a truly classy house. Very nice. This cozy old pub is called the 8 Bells, and if you look closely, you will actually find 8 bells on the sign. On your way to the church, don't forget to stop by this beautiful row of 12 houses. They were built by Sir Baptist Hicks in 1612 as homes for the elderly, and remarkably, they still serve that purpose today. Just across the road once stood Camden House, a fortified manor built for Hicks in 1608. In 1645, Royalist troops destroyed it themselves to prevent it from falling into parliamentary hands. Only the gatehouse and two smaller buildings, called Banquet House, remain. The rest is now just open grassland. The site is privately owned by the Hicks family, who have built a new home in a converted stable building now called the courthouse and is not open to the public. Right next to it stands St. James Church, built in the 15th century, incorporating parts of an earlier Norman structure. Inside, you can find the tomb of Sir Baptist Hicks and his wife, as well as that of their daughter and her husband. When we visited, a kind lady welcomed us and said we could film whatever we liked, and we certainly liked it here a lot. The church is dedicated to St. James and is one of the early examples of the so-called wool churches. It sounds strange, but I'll explain it in a moment. They are called that because the wool trade brought in so much money that even relatively small parishes could afford very large and ostentatious churches. Some, like the parish church in Cirencester, which we will visit with you soon, are even the size of small cathedrals. St. James Church is definitely worth visiting, if only for its peaceful atmosphere and pleasant surroundings. This house here is a new build, designed to blend perfectly with the local style. Building regulations here are strict. Everything must match the traditional Cotswold look. I can only guess how much a home like this, with such a plot and location, would cost, but I'd say it's probably around £1 million. The fact that this town used to be really rich is definitely visible at every step. By the way, while walking through the streets, I noticed that most of the houses here do not have descriptive numbers, but have names, as was the custom in the old days. So, my friends, I hope we've inspired you to visit this beautiful little town. If you enjoyed the video, please support us with a like, a share, and a subscribe. And don't forget to click the heart so you won't miss our next adventures. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!